The least motivated generation. Every day I see a gazillion articles with a zazillion reasons why Gen Z deserves this beautiful, nihilistic, cynical nothing distinction. I mean, why aren't we heads down determined to grind infinite 80-hour non-overtime weeks, no complaints whatsoever, so Rob from HR can subtly and uselessly hint we'll get $1 raise next year? Why do none of us want to sit down, shut up, work 9 to 5 till we're 5 times 9 math illiterate ages and victim with 15 vacation days used across 3 separate months for 5 unique stomach ulcer surgery recovery periods? Why don't we ungrateful Z-generates care about Marsha's retirement party? Are all previous generations just pointlessly obsessed with job titles and office awards and fake drama that will mean nothing at all in 10 minutes? All I know is I want to stay as far away from all that traditional hopeless core emptiness as possible. But of course, it's true that I am 20-something Fortnite Valorant Stanley Cup obsessed non-genius, somehow joining this real actual serious tight-knit business first team while using every free second I have to watch reels and TikToks and shorts on meaningless corporate company time. It's true I am materialistic Temu hoarding softboy cosplayer endlessly posting about having Sigma transcended this unsigma environment. It's true I keep getting fired and hired and fired and hired and none of it means anything unless someone sits me down and gives me external reason to think it means something. Every second I cleverly escape the real life real rules of the Matrix, but somehow the real life real rules of the Matrix society keep forever escaping me. I mean, what are they? I don't know. So am I really a dumb, demotivated, newfangled whippersnapper Generation Z youngster endlessly quietly giving up? Or am I a self-aware Z-gen knowingly motivatedly deciding to work as little as possible for unsympathetic systems that don't care at all about me? It seems like the outcome is kind of the same either way. So what do I do? Fix this? Do this forever? I'm trapped eternally explaining to myself why staring at phone doing nothing is actually the same as rebelliously doing something. Pretending that loudly, intentionally, analytically giving up is different than just quietly giving up. And it feels like I have two options. Allow my brain to drift forever into endless dopamine hits eclipsing any willingness to get up and move around and start something and finish something, or actually start something and finish something. Born to sit, forced to swipe. So I have to find some penthouse owning TikTok famous pickup artist course peddler who can tell me why doing nothing is terrible, inhuman, pathetic, unmanly, who can slowly, verbally, or textually convince me to finally break free of infinite, delicious, self-indulgent phone staring cycle, who can explain why I am different and better and capable and genius while I defeat shiny Pokemon scalper using chair throw alone. I'm a natural born hustler, it turns out. My action-based actions mean I'm destined for and deserving of greatness because I actually take initiative where gay and cringe, useless phone staring nobodies do nothing forever. I'm different and unique and special and have to start things and finish things because I would be a do-nothing dumbass if I didn't. And these two main modern Z-gen lifestyle mythologies just keep getting stronger and stronger, despite how callous or individualist and pointless they are. The giving up lifestyle tells you to do nothing as often as possible while justifying your behavior with the idea that doing nothing is genius, self-aware statement, valiantly fighting against and also simultaneously succumbing to how terrible everything is. And the not giving up lifestyle tells you that following fake omnipotent roid-user beta male action taker who built his fortune on the backs of other weak beta males will provide you a future where a select few pseudo-genius action takers own everything, leaving useless phone starers likely, in fact, still including you, in the angel dust where they belong. So who are you? A phone starer destined for nothing and nowhere? A keta male optimizing likelihood of random 5-year-old stealing mom's credit card for semi-accidental $1,000 kick chat donation? The problem here comes in the concept of giving up. Why does it feel like most of us are giving up, and the only people who aren't giving up have thousands of properties and fans and go clubbing every weekend and weekday with other superhuman geniuses who recently took action by doing something, saying something, posting something, going somewhere? Why does success feel so obviously, comfortingly unattainable? It's because our aesthetic-pilled version of success, of making it, is so far beyond anything most of us could achieve in a day, a month, a year. Most of us would try not giving up and suggest that due to not having $1 million or followers or whatever after 6 whole seconds, giving up is the next best possible and easiest and most rational option. If the only way to succeed after not giving up and locking in is to be the pinnacle of wealth and respect and genius in the world as a 20-something-year-old random after only 2 months trying, it's pretty likely those 2 months or however long of not giving up won't really seem like they were worth the effort. And yeah, it's about managing expectations so you don't think Mr. Beast influencer lifestyle will be yours in 5 seconds. But it's also about recognizing the realistic gray area that a lot of us fall into between these two mostly imaginary Z-gen lifestyles. Most people aren't 20-something art or finance or law or content creating hustle grindset retirees running around with no problems and infinite money, but most people are also not solely staring at their phones inside with no connection to the outside world entirely, no friends, no skill set, no hobbies, no anything. And even if you are that disconnected from the universe, basically everyone's potentially capable of becoming connected again. So despite likely falling somewhere in the middle between truly giving up and not giving up, you've probably been convinced by your impossible idea of success that your destiny is to give up forever, when you've honestly never had a true realistic way to fully give up at all. Another way to think about it is to consider what would happen if you didn't know what it meant to give up or not give up. Imagine you lived in beautiful shining warrior society with spears raining down from the heavens on way too crowded fields, fighting battles between 5,500 clans to the death, running first, jumping first, stabbing first, asking questions never. Would you have time to not lock in? If you lived in a cool black and white detective studio apartment with 50s Bond movie damsels slyly helping you solve some some vast murder mystery cold case conspiracy. Would you have time to not lock in? If you lived in any time, any place, any context that felt any more real and urgent and huge and nuanced than the present 17,000 response song Twitter argument drama exchange currently occupying your attention for multiple full so-called leisurely afternoons, would you have time to not lock in? If you stopped thinking and sitting and scrolling and screaming and drinking and somehow stepped into a road rage argument, a flight simulator, an audience, a gospel choir, a movie role, a pantsuit, a country with nothing on your back but your great-grandfather's old Borat thong, would you have any thought, any inkling, any time to think that what you were doing wasn't something you had to be doing? How could you not lock in if you put yourself in a situation where you need to lock in? It's so easy. It's so obvious. It's so everywhere, and your walls barely prevent the sound of a bazillion people desperately pleading for you to exist in their periphery, desperately generating a reason for you to talk, cry, hug, dance, flip, do things that mean things, that cause things, that require more things to be done. And it's crazy how good it feels, how unmatched it feels, how valiant and alluring and life-defining it feels to finally exist where others retroactively needed you to fully cathartically be a person known for something or everything or even nothing, to have a fully formed higher goal bursting from your brain while you take actions to achieve the thing you actually genuinely want to, even if that thing just turns out to be buying Robux gift card from grocery store. And yes, all of us Z-Gens are already doing this every day. Every time we ask question, open door, run downstairs, passionately discuss Mario Kart Wii leaderboards, we drift away from infinite linear content slop torrent uncritically gushing down gullets via pixels and RGB lights. We temporarily become people in a system expected to do something, say something, help, not help, etc. We lock in, but also later snap back into it again, staring down at the screen, desperately screaming inside that we can't lock in, that we don't know how. We keep telling ourselves that not doing anything, mind blanking, idly planking takes up all our time, when it can in fact only ever take up just a part of it. No way you've never been someone doing something somewhere. No way you've never tried to solve some type of puzzle. No way you've never been forced by the people and places and activities surrounding you to ignore the voice saying you can't lock in and just, well, suddenly lock in. Running from Siren Head, world bordering, 2B2T, chess tournament, cashier shift, telling landlord you need more time to pay rent. It's happening all around you and will continue to happen so long as things keep happening. Do you really think you're not unintentionally locking in all the time? Do you really think you're not already good at doing things when you're forced to? Do you really think, given all of human history, given every possible life or death Squid Game on Ice situation you could be put in right now, that despite infinitely heavy insurmountable mental block, you couldn't possibly physically in fact just kind of lock in more? And why at all are some of us Z-Gens locking in? Why are some of us exiting the meta-thinking world and entering reality, the unfamiliar realm of actions and risks and consequences? Why are we still joining the rat race workforce, building TikTok YouTube presence, buying car, getting girlfriend, boyfriend, they friend, investing cleanly in proper high-quality Twitch, OnlyFans content production / streaming setup, subscribe, like, comment for algorithm? Why are not all of us actually quietly circling the imaginary drain as fake doomerists, identically mindseted dumbasses forever sing Zelda's lullaby, believing it to be a sign of the end rather than a nostalgic sign of beginning? It's because we know that this world requires us to lock in. Not because billionaire out-of-touch crypto-capitalist dumbasses say so, but because we know that locking in is what gets us what we want, just like prehistoric non-humans would have done banging stick and rock together. It's what gives us not only our own happiness, but the happiness of everyone around us. It's a true rebellion against an apparently deteriorating status quo, a decision to change one or more things about myself or my future that now means my infinitely lofty goals become even slightly more truly attainable. Every day yes, I, the guy who made this channel, but also potentially anyone at all, force myself to lock in because I know they don't want me to. I know they want me to sit quietly inside and consume every content farm AI generated word and allow my brain to stay basically the same. Allow my belief in my fellow man, woman, envy to wither away. Allow my unremarkable job to define me. Allow my doomerism to passively shrink me into nothing and no one, thereby becoming uniformly opinionless and controllable. I lock in because I know I can, in fact, exercise my free will, whether or not anyone philosophically decides it exists. And because I know my future and our future is there in the future waiting for all of us. We just have to lock in enough to pull it, bit by bit, through the hazy, uncertain veil covering everything beyond the moment right now. And guys, just like 99% of non-gamblers, are you really gonna give up right before it materializes?